Seeking advice from ADHD partners. My 33F husband, 35M, drives me insane. What do I do? My husband is diagnosed ADHD. He is the type, don't know if all ADHD has this issue, which is why I say type, who forgets the world around him if he can't see it. As in the dishes on the table might as well have been in another universe if he can't see them. The issue is bad enough itself, but add to that, he is a gamer nerd, we both are, no diss to gamers. Problem is he gets in front of the PC and then nothing else exists. I'm tired of feeling like a mom asking her teenage son to do the dishes or take out the bin. I've tried talking to him about it several times but nothing works. For a while he had a nice structure where he did the dishes every evening and took out the bin every other day, but it's like that has completely gone. Any advice? I'm drowning here. My advice? Make one final crystal clear appeal to him. I cannot live my life like this. I need a partner. If you aren't willing to be my partner, I will have to leave this marriage. And then when he shows that he still isn't motivated to permanently change his habits in a way that makes this marriage feel good to you, hire a divorce lawyer and move on from this. Don't stay unhappy. He needs to set up a scheduled process to approach those things. And gaming needs to be what he does after he runs through his process. Look into the Pomodoro technique. My wife is diagnosed ADHD and this has revolutionized her ability to balance chores and activities. Simplified version is he needs to set an alarm when he settles in that is loud enough he can't ignore it and far enough away it breaks his hyper-focus when he goes to turn it off. That alarm is, go do something that needs doing, and every time it goes off he needs to go do a chore or clean up or whatever else needs doing. When the chore is done, set the alarm again, put the phone or whatever back in the faraway place and then go back to gaming. If his mental health issue is hurting you, you can and perhaps even should leave for your own mental health. I personally think this is a he knows, he just doesn't care issue. Especially because at one point he'd had a routine. He might be using ADHD as an excuse. He's hyper-focused. ADHD trait. It can seem dismissive to others, however if used correctly hyper-focusing can be a superpower. Medication can help. Behavior therapy helps with managing symptoms until he can get better with self-management skills. Hang in there. Read up on ADHD. I'm a lawyer, wife and mom diagnosed at age 46 when my son was in 10th grade. Ends up both kids and I had it. It can be a curse if you let it or a blessing if you embrace it imho. You think it's whatever. Until you're balls deep into ADHD spouse, caretaker burnout and you genuinely can't function yourself and then you have to get professional help. Once you get that help you turn to Reddit and they're like, you're not empathic enough, you don't understand ADHD, if you actually love them. Read some Google links or listen to this podcast even though you've got a week lined up with ADHD specialists in real life who say wildly different things than what people say on Reddit. Tears of joy. Run. Is it normal that I, 22 male, am not excited to get engaged, married to GF, 24 female? I, 22 male, have been dating my GF, 24 female, for over 3 years. We have had a pretty good relationship overall. With work I ended up moving 1,000 miles away from where we lived and she decided to move with me. It got pretty rocky with a lot of stress on both of us but just about everything is smoothed out now. We have lived together in an apartment for over a year now and we have discussed moving forward multiple times. I do not like living in an apartment and have been looking for a house since we moved. She does not want to get a house until we are married and we have discussed it which I totally agree. Last week she wanted to go look at rings, just for fun. She was so excited looking at the rings and kept talking about how great our future is going to be when we get married and the life we are going to build. I think she's a great girlfriend and I love her but I am just not excited about getting married like she is. Is that okay? One of the biggest traits I want in a woman is loyalty and she's got it. There are a few things I'm not super happy with but I have always figured that was just how it is. You're never going to find someone who 100% checks all your boxes. Long story short, is it okay to not be excited about marriage like she is? Are you excited about building a life with her? You sound like amicable co-workers. You both deserve more. If you aren't excited don't lead her on. She deserves the excitement. You're only 22. It sounds to me like you love her, but you're just not ready for marriage yet. If you want to be more settled first, financially, educationally, or career-wise, just tell her that. Where I come from almost no one gets married at 22 nowadays, lol, that just sounds insane to me. At 22, it's actually crazy in my mind to be excited about marriage. You have so much more to experience in life. Those experiences will shape what kind of future you will want eventually. I, 20 female, have scheduled a day to break up with my boyfriend, 20M. Is planning a breakup okay? I, 20F, have been with my boyfriend, 20M, for 2 years now. I'm planning on breaking up with him on a specific day this week, not to his knowledge. My friends have expressed that they thought a planned or scheduled breakup was an unusual thing, but personally I feel like it's the only way that I can gather the courage for myself to do it. I love him to death, and this is a really hard decision for me to make, but we are so fundamentally different as people that it has made it incredibly difficult for us to communicate, to express our love and to have productive arguments throughout our entire relationship. I'm very exhausted on coaching him through how to communicate, how to care for me in a way where I feel heard, and how to express emotions through hardships. I feel like our breakup is a bit overdue, partly because I've been too scared to be alone. But I think scheduling a breakup would help me process things better. What do you guys think on a planned breakup? Is it harsh? Would you rather it happen spontaneously? I actually think this is a much more mindful way to approach it. Most spontaneous breakups are toxic and in the heat of the moment. You don't need to be in a toxic relationship to identify you're in the wrong one and take steps back at your own pace. I am actually impressed by the maturity. There is nothing weird about scheduling a day to have this hard conversation after you've thought of everything you want to say and are ready to clearly communicate it. You don't owe anyone anything. And for what it's worth, I am proud of you. Nothing wrong with it at all. 100% the way to do it. Spend a few days gathering up any belongings that need to be exchanged and arrange to meet him somewhere public, a coffee shop or whatever suits, and tell him out straight that you need to break up. It's not working for you anymore. You feel that you aren't suited anymore and you both need to move on. Whatever you do, you don't do the, I still love you, stuff. That's really going to confuse things and lead to pleading and, I'll change, and you'll end up with a messier breakup than is needed. You need to remember, you're not his carer or teacher, you're partners and you've outgrown him. We as women have to feel safe. Safety above all. So planning things like this, having a cool head, being in control of your emotions, even talking through it in your own head is very comforting and calming. I think this is the way to do it. You've planned for contingencies and had plenty of time to be thoughtful and know you're making the right decision. More people should be this way, you're doing it right. There's nothing wrong with scheduling anything if you know it in your heart as being true to yourself. If you can lie to yourself, then you'll lie to anyone, so anything that gets you facing it, then more the better for you. It is a bit unusual, but I don't see it as morally wrong. Essentially, you're preparing yourself for a difficult event and there is nothing wrong with that. I do think prolonging it would be morally wrong to do so though, so please set this man free ASAP. X32M creeps on my 24F page when he's married. What is his purpose in doing so? 24F talked to a guy 32M for a short amount of time back in 2018. We talked for about 3 months. He tried to get with me the year prior and I kept dodging him. To summarize, I was such a naive girl. I wasn't as good looking back then either. He took advantage of me and took me virginity. The short relationship was full of gaslighting. After he took my virginity, he ghosted me and got with a new woman. They've been together since. He tried to come back 2 years later after he left me to cheat on her and I told her. They broke up and she took him back. It's been 4 years and I still catch him lurking on my media and watching my stories. What's the purpose of this? When he sees me in the gym, he constantly stares at me. I think it's weird. I won't talk to and he won't talk to me. I would prefer not to because of the odd history. Does he feel regret? Is he just keeping tabs? I think it's weird cause he's married and has a whole baby on the way. That you were interested in him even for a little while is probably an ego boost to you, and he's probably very willing to cheat if you give him the chance. I suggest you keep ignoring him. He's just a creep and a jerk. He wants to have an affair and remembers you as naive and easy to target. So he's returning to you to try to see if there's a connection. And he begins with stalking online to in person now. So be careful. He's a creep. Just block him for good. Fuck this dude. He is creepy, disgusting guy. Block him on social media and ignore him. So you got together 6 years ago but he was trying to get with you the year before. Wouldn't that have made you 17 then? What a creep. Personally, I feel you should block him and alert your gym to what the situation is and how uncomfortable he is making you.